Good evening. It is time to stream video games. And this particular video game, Faster Than Light, FTL. One of the games that really kindled my love for roguelikes, especially over the last year or two. It's a pretty exceptional game. So why not play it? Because it is great. So if you're not familiar with the game, basically you're trying to pilot a ship from one part of the galaxy to the other without getting blown up by all the terrible people along the way. There is like kind of plot that you're doing it for some people. It's, you know, generic space plot, which actually seems like a good name for a ship. And it's one of the better roguelikes to come out in a long time. So hopefully it will make for enjoying content. That is in English. And it also has the advanced stuff. So yeah, here's the fluff text about what we're supposed to be doing. Vital supplies, big information. So we have 3 crew members to start out with, all human, on this little ship. We have 2 weapons, which I'm going to turn on. And the FTL gyro is charging. I've never known that to happen before. That's really weird. Because I'm paused. So what we do is that we want to jump from one side of the galaxy to the other. So here is where we need to get out by, and we can jump from node to node. And it is procedurally generated as to what's going to happen there. So it could be enemy ships, could be some kind of event. Normally you can't really tell, but sometimes you kind of get some indication. So here it says distress. So assumedly there are people in distress. We jump over and see what's happening. So this is one of the decisions that can come up. There's quite a lot in the game, but generally they tend to go along this line, like someone's in trouble. Do we help, or do we just go on our way? In this case, there's a pirate ship trapped, so we can try and get it out, which is probably a chance that they'll then turn around and attack us, or we can just destroy it. They're just pirates. But I'm a good person, so I'm going to try and get them free. And we do. I mean, the outcomes of that generally are also randomly generated. Sometimes that could go badly and they could attack us. And we get some resources from this. So there are 4 resources in the game. There's this little neutron looking thingy, which is fuel. You need, and when you run out of fuel you lose. There are rockets, which are weapon hair fires. And this cog thing is just like generic currency. We can use that to buy things at shops, bribe people in some cases, fix the ship, things like that. And the other one is these drone parts. We don't have a drone, so let's not get into it too much. So I think I'm going to try and take the long way around. So you can't see it yet, but you are being pursued. They're not yet on the map, but basically if they catch up with you, it's a bad time. It's not like instant death, but it won't be good. It will generally damage your run in quite a bad way. And here we can actually get ourselves into a fight. We can see it's got some weapons. Hard to tell from here, it looks like some kind of laser weapon, some shields, but we should be able to break through those. Let's fight the ship because I want to save some money, and destroying ships and kind of picking up gear, as much currency as possible, is the best way. So now we can pause and go into like a more tactical style, or you can play it in real time. It's basically real time where you can pause. So what I'm going to try and do is take out their weapons so we stop taking damage to start off with. Some people prefer to go for the shields first and then just rip the other ship apart. A lot of it depends on your weapon setup. I mean, we're just using the generic starter ship, but that kind of worked out to our advantage. So we're taking out the weapons, which means we can kind of pick apart the other parts of the ship. And now they try to escape. So now the shields are down, the weapons are down. This engine symbol is for the engines. And FTL, as in the name, stands for Faster Than Light, which is kind of like the name they give the technology that explains where you can jump all over the galaxy at faster than the speed of light. Also, if the sound and stuff is fine, please let me know. And if it isn't, then you might not hear this and you won't be able to let me know. But I'd hope people would shout at me but it was fine. So we take out the ship, more resources, and we can go on our merry way. And it will be a lot like that. I mean, in the first, and here you can see the beginning of the pursuit. Like, the first sector is generally quite forgiving. It allows you to build up some money, allows you to build up hopefully a decent weapon, maybe some extra crew, and then you can go from there. So we've got another decision here. Very vague request. I don't see any reason not having time. And they want us to scan the planet. If we can modulate the feedback signal of the sensors to get the right frequency. What science series have I heard that in before? So we carry on. So there's some mold down there. And basically they want to know, like, can we kill all this stuff? Make the planet nice. This is like one of these things where you know this is like the right thing to do, but it's probably not going to give you a reward. But I'll go for it anyway. Ooh, so okay. So their livelihood depends on it. Could try to attack them, but that seems silly. Oh, the phone has stopped, I believe. Sorry about that. I did not realise my phone was going off because I have it on silent. I'm always partial to a good bribe, so I'll take that. And hello, Fokran. So we're actually off to a pretty decent start. So I'm going to keep trying to hit as many planets as possible. Occasionally this happens. There's nothing there, which is kind of like, it's bad because you don't get anything out of it. But in some cases, like landing and there's nothing there is an absolute blessing. Okay, so this time another ship. It's a rebel ship. They tend to be a bit more better equipped than the ones we saw before. And as you can see, this guy is one of the drones referred to drone parts earlier. So they've got this, and it's going to constantly fire like lasers. It can't break through my shields, and this would be a good time to pause. But it can help their other weapons get through, although a missile does bypass shields. And it's hit my O2, and as you can imagine, if the oxygen system goes down, everyone's going to have a bad time because they'll be dead. So we send the guy in to fix that, while we've taken out weapons, and we'll now take out the shields, hopefully, and then we can just kind of pick it apart. And this is why missile weapons are so annoying, because you can upgrade shields as much as they want, and it just goes through. There are ways of dealing with them, but they can be quite brutal in how they can quickly cause massive problems. And we've done enough damage, we can try and kill them, which I don't know the exact mechanics behind this. I don't know if it's random or there is a better option. We can take their bribe now for what is a pretty minimal reward. We don't need drone parts, it's not much fuel, it's not much money. Or we can just keep laying into them. And they've now damaged the engine. So this guy, while we kill them, your crew does skill up, so you can see his repair bar. It's a little bit bigger than normal, because he's now had some experience in repairing stuff. And there we go. So yeah, we actually ended up getting pretty much what they offered us, but a bit more currency, so sometimes it's worth it to just carry on the fight, even though you can risk damaging your own ship more. It's normally a very context-based decision, which is one of the real strengths of this game, is that every playthrough is really different. Even with just using the generic ship, the way the game will procedurally generate everything can really send it in any direction. And we have ourselves another scrap. Gonna go with the same plan. So I'm kind of used to the game, so I can see this is kind of like a laser weapon, and this is like an ion weapon. So what that, and they work quite well in combination if the AI knows what it's doing, and if we don't take out its weapons. So what that does, like, it's one of the clever ways weapons can be used with each other is that will bring down your shields, and then the other one, the laser, is quite high damaging, but it's very bad at getting through shields. So it's a very annoying combo to face up against, but again, this is why I go for the taking out the weapons thing. And again, this is quite a paltry offer, so I'm not going to go for it. It's definitely not because I'm a brutal murderer or anything like that. No, sir. Instead of the final shot hits him. More gold for me. So we can upgrade our ship. You can upgrade your shields for more shields. You can see it goes up to 4 here. Engines for more dodging. That's for the medbay, which I haven't used yet. Faster oxygen refill if it gets taken down. More power fuel weapons. More power in general. And then things like piloting doors, cameras. Power becomes quite important later on when you've got more stuff. This is kind of our power bar and it's all being used up here, but you can turn things off. Like, we don't need the medical bay at the moment, so we could turn that off to put an extra bar in shields, and now we dodge quicker. Which I should have done at the start, but I am a dumbs. And let's go over here now. This is quite good, we've barely taken any damage. And we're picking up a bit of gold, which is really what you kind of want to do. And get ourselves into another fight, and we haven't used any missiles yet. I mean, generally you don't want to use missiles if you can avoid it because they're a scarcity. Oh right, something's going on here. Okay, so this is a good moment to pause. So there's an what's the word for it? An environmental factor in this place we just landed, which is an ion storm, and kind of like the iron weapons, that will bring your shields down and take down systems. So it's taken our O2 offline temporarily and our weapons. Partially, we can still fire the missile launcher, which I think I'm going to do, and also affects the enemy, so you can see they've got the same thing. I'm going to send him to repair the shields while I'm at it. Sometimes things like that, you can turn a fight that would normally be trivial into a massive issue because it keeps taking down your shields or something like that. And you kind of want to get out of these fights really quickly, which is why I used a missile there. Normally I wouldn't, but needs must, because you get a bit unlucky and you keep losing your weapons, your shields, and things get pretty dicey. And now they're trying to escape. Generally, I'm actually going to use another missile because you generally don't want these orange rebel ships to escape, because what they do is that they go back to the pursuing fleet. The rebels are the pursuing fleet, who are quite here, and they will move further than they normally would, which means that they're going to catch up to you. And again, like, it isn't insta-death, but you're normally going to get locked into a pretty brutal fight, which isn't worth taking. So they're actually quite close, so I'm just going to go for the exit now. I'm still not used to how dicey you can run it, because it is a bit RNG sometimes. We have found intelligent life forms. Very much so. Brightly coloured six-legged horse-like animals. They sound dangerous, but full of food. And we have an awkward moment with them. See, these ones, I know I've had this one before, and it always seems to go badly if you take them on board. Like, they kind of give you a horse kick to the face, and then your guy, one of your crew, will die. And then we leave the sector. As you can see, there are plenty here, and here's where you'll have like the final boss battle if you can make it that far. It also gives you an option of which one to go to, and the red ones are hostile, which means you're going to have more fights. Purple is Nebula, which means that you will be pursued slower, but nebulas like interfere with your ship a bit, so it can go either way, and civilian's generally peaceful. And we're going to go for civilian over this mantis controlled one. And you're probably thinking, well, why would you ever go hostile? Well, more fights means more money and more chance of picking up gear and things like that. But the mantis controlled ones, you come across a type of enemy called mantis, who are very good at jumping onto your ship and then beating the shit out of you. And I don't have the capabilities